Hello, Cairo Candy members. This is Dave Major along with Dr. Mike Kindolfi. And hopefully you listen to our first series. We're doing a number of series to help you from getting all the people that Cairo Candy has helped you attract into your office. And honestly, get your best return of your investment. That's the bottom line. It's good for people to come in from an event, but the bottom line is how many are we going to convert under care so we can help change their lives? That sounds pretty good to me, doesn't it? You, Dr. Mike?
Absolutely. That's what we're going to talk about is what are tools and tips that we can bring you that's going to help you better convert your new patients into lifetime patients, into ideal patients for you in your office. And so, Dave, we did a survey in North America, and this is a little tip that we're going to go over today that a lot of people might overlook. They might dismiss, but I'm telling you, it will have a profound impact on your ability to convert new patients into ideal patients for your practice. So don't dismiss this. Put the effort and energy into learning these skills because it will pay off in the long run. All right. And so we took a look and we did a survey in North America. We had our doctors ask anonymously people in their community, what is the number one thing that you want from a doctor? And so what do you think that was, Dave?
Listening.
Listening. The number 70% said we want somebody who listens to us. Number two was we want somebody who cares. And surprisingly, third was results. I mean, first of all, they want somebody who cares and listens to them. And if you don't have that, you're not converting anybody.
Right.
I mean,
right.
think about it like this. Dave, if maybe you're a great doctor, you do wonderful things, but man, people don't trust you. Are they going to follow your care plan? Are they going to convert? No, maybe they convert for a couple of visits, but they're out of there. They don't trust you. And on the flip side of it is even if you don't do a perfect report of findings, but they trust you, they're going to follow you. So understand this. A couple things. They first need to be heard, and second, we need to build rapport and trust. So that's what we're going to cover today. We're going to give you tips and tools for both of those. And so we're going to start off with listening skills. And it's not just shaking your head when they're talking. We're talking about understanding them and making sure that they understand that you understand what they're going through. So
Yes.
you do a hit on that, Dave?
Yes. One of my favorite sayings, and in 12 clinics I used to operate, a lady stitched this for me. And when you walked in, this nice frame stitching said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So same thing here. They don't care how much you know until we know how much they know how much we care. So we have 2 ears, 1 mouth to listen. So I think too, Dr. Mike, it dovetails into when we listen intently to show respect, then guess what? Then not only do we show respect, and now they start to care that we're listening, and that's starting to build trust. So it kind of flows into the next 2 categories, okay? But then most importantly, people realize when you hear that's information that they're telling you that you need to address. So they're giving you valuable information when you come back to talk about the report. And I hear you saying, Dr. Mike, that you said da-da-da. Is that true? So you're getting great information, but mainly, number one, you're listening, showing you're caring and trusting.
Yeah, we have to acknowledge them. And it's not just being a robot or a tape recorder. We want to understand what they're going through. So when someone says something, regardless of what it is, maybe they're suffering from some lower back pain, it must be miserable. It's gotten so miserable that they called you to get some help. Maybe they can't sleep. Maybe they can't work. They're up all night tossing and turning. Maybe they can't pick up their grandchildren or play golf like they like to play. I want you to listen to what they're going through in life. So one of the keys when you do a consultation, so we're going back to the first visit, and because by the way, we're going to talk some more about first visit procedures as we go through these, because the first visit sets up the report. Yes. A great first visit makes your report of findings simple. If you mess up the first visit, they might not even come back for the report. So in this process, when they go through the details of what they're going through, listen to what their life is like, how it's impacting their life, what they're going through. And I want somebody to say when I'm done, man, finally somebody who listens, because some will say those exact words. So they
Yes,
need to
yes.
be heard. So don't just repeat back exactly what they tell you. Think about the words that they're saying and what they're going through, and then communicate back to them so they understand that you really know where they are. That's
Mhm.
huge. That's your
Exactly.
first connection. Don't miss
Yes.
out on it. Okay.
Yes.
Let's
And
talk about that thing then. Oh, you want to make more
I
of a
want to
comment?
make one comment real quick. Number one, I want you to know that this is not, and Dr. Mike and I, we've been this for almost 40 years. This is not like manipulative. This is just good common sense for people. So we don't sell, we educate our people, we connect with our people. And the number one thing, look it up, that people want, Dr. Mike, is acknowledged and appreciated. That's the number one thing they want. They want to be, and that's in general in life. So when you listen, you're acknowledging them and you're showing your appreciation. Okay. So let's
Great.
move on.
Exactly it. All right. So the second thing we want to talk about is building that trust. And so we talk about what we call the 5 components of building rapport or building trust. And so we're going to go through those 5 real quick. If you need more information, you're happy to contact us, and we'll help you with that. But hopefully or have heard most of this, and we can just build on this. But the number one thing, so they're not in any priority, but the first thing on our list of building rapport, the first component, is communicating in a style that they understand. We have 4 basic communication styles: driver, amiable, analytical, and expressive. And so it's like a language. It's like speaking Chinese or American.
Right.
If you're not speaking their language, they don't understand you. All right.
Mhm.
So we want to identify what language or what behavioral style they communicate in, and begin to match or pace that behavioral style. So Dave, you want to do a hit, and you can look it up online and learn more about DISC behavioral styles
Yeah.
and how to communicate to it. And so each of them has very specific things on how they communicate, how they buy, etc. So I've got a phone problem here. Can you see me?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. All right. So Dave, you want to do a hit on DISC behavioral
Yes.
styles?
Real quick, a driver is your drivers, it's your entrepreneurs, your managers, and they're right, get to the point. And if Dave Major, which loves to talk, goes blah, 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 they're like, okay, I've killed it right there. When by listening, you thought, oh, this guy's short, he's a driver. You can just tell the way he is. Expressives are like, hey, I love your office. Hey, how's it going? This is great. Da, da, da. They're an expressive. An amiable is going to be very sensitive. We call it the golden retriever. And you need to be very sensitive and stuff, and the tonality of the voice goes down. So I know that this person really needs TLC. Then you got the analytical, which is the very detailed person. They like to hear facts. They just don't like, oh, that. No, let's get to the facts. And so when I hear those, I really do, and I've been blessed to just automatically, I'm going to talk, and you said it perfectly. It's like their language. They're speaking French, German, English, Spanish. It's like, so we got to talk their language. And again, they feel comfortable, they relax, and they like, even though they don't know they're liking it because we're talking like them. So it's definitely those 4 personalities that Dr. Mike said, look it up, and you've probably heard it many times, but it's very, very important.
One of the easy, quick ways to build rapport, again, is the more you're like somebody, the more you feel comfortable around them. So if you're speaking the same language, it's easy. Just remember, driver, expressive are extroverts, amiable, analyticals are introverts. Drivers and analyticals are focused on tasks, where amiables and expressives are focused on people. So that's the quadrants that we look at. If you need more help with that, go with that. Do a little study and learn a little bit more about it. But number one thing, let's communicate in the style that they understand. Second thing that we can take a look at is something that you've all heard of before, is mirroring. And again, the more you're like somebody, the more you feel comfortable around them. So what does mirroring mean, Dave?
Mirroring means, I'm sure you have stories I do, is actually what it says, mirroring. I'll tell you a great story. I was going to go to this place, big gym down in Florida, and we wanted to get in. And I said, when we talk, we got the head guy going to talk to us. I told the doctor, watch me and do as I do. So the guy would go, so tell me about that, Dave. And I said, well, I'll tell you about that. I wish we had a camera. And then I almost started laughing because the doctor, so all three of us are like this. So the mannerisms were the same. And if he said something funny, laughed, I laughed, he laughed. It was just like, and you could just sense it almost was like we were making fun, but I wanted him to be comfortable, because when you're comfortable, he connected with us. He heard, we listened, and then he trusted us, and we got in. It was so funny. He said, I thought for sure he was going to say, wait, what are you guys making fun of me? No, we were just wanting to be like him. And we just moved and did everything visually, physically. If he did this with it, I'd have glasses so I can do it. But it was so amazing, and we just mirrored his actions. I mean, and it seems simple, but it's powerful.
Very powerful, very quick and easy way to build rapport is to mirror people. Think of it as a dance. I mean, if you're think of it like this: if you're slow dancing and the other person's doing rap dance or break dancing, you're not going to.
You're old. Rap dance. I didn't know there was
rap dancing. Let's do some rap dancing.
Yeah.
So if you're doing something totally different, then they're going to feel uncomfortable. Match what they're doing, right? And so easy way to do it is look at their posture, match their posture. When they move, it's a dance. I like to count a couple seconds, just a little bit of a delay, and then you move in the same pathway. So mirror them. All right. The third thing we're going to talk about, very much like mirroring their posture, is pacing their voice or mirroring their voice. So if somebody talks real fast, you need to speed it up. If someone's, one of those slow talkers, slow things down. The volume, the expression, etc. So think of it just like posture, only the voice. Match the voice. And again, if you're an introvert and you're quiet and someone just comes at you all enthusiastic, waving their arms, and you're sitting there nice and quiet, you're going to think to yourself, I can't wait to get out of this place. I'm running. Doesn't matter how good of a doctor you are. Doesn't matter how great your report is. Doesn't matter how passionate you are. If it doesn't match, you're uncomfortable and you want to leave. So the next simple thing is don't just pace and mirror their posture, pace and mirror their voice. Third thing is values. Now, Dave does some really cool things. Dave naturally matches people's behavioral styles very well, and he matches their emotions very well. And they're, so we got, all right, I think I just said the fifth one, emotions, but values. So we have values before emotions. So those are the five. So values, what's important to people. So Dave, you want to do a hit on values?
Yes. I mean, we need to realize that everyone has different values. It doesn't mean you have to accept the value they don't. That's their stance, but you see where people's priorities are when they have their values. Okay. And so sometimes they have neglected the value of their health by not realizing that they are. So when we talk about, I say, well, how much do you value your life? I value it a lot, and they kind of, we got to get them out of this. I always call, when I talk about value is what, Mike? What's value mean to you?
What's important to you? So think of it, even in a broader sense, we have personal interests.
Right.
So maybe, one person's a Cleveland Browns fan and the other person's a Chicago Bears fan. Okay. We have attitudes, value, belief systems. So if you believe that chiropractic is for back and neck pain, when you have back or neck pain, you'll go see a chiropractor. If you believe chiropractic is for health and well-being, you'll see a chiropractor if you want to improve your health and well-being. If you believe chiropractors are quacks, you'll never see one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we pay attention to people's values and belief systems and don't violate those, because that's an instant deal breaker.
No, exactly. I mean, you said it perfect. Hey, you stole my thunder a little bit. I was just ready to say, no. I'll say, oh, they'll have a Pittsburgh Steeler. Oh, Steelers stink. And I mean, even though it's negative, they're like, what do you mean? I played against Jack Lambert in high school. You did? And then I have something new that I have 5 years ago, and I helped a lady sell her clinic in Pittsburgh. I said, guess what? This is a true story. On 30-30, they won an Emmy. The man who went in the end zone, took the ball that Franco Harris, the immaculate reception ball. I'll send you a picture. I was the 18th guy in the world to hold it Franco Harris, God rest his soul, he'd come by every year to hold this. He has an insurance company, owns his whole plaza. He has it in a vault. It's the only thing in this big vault is the immaculate reception. And they're like, oh, really? Can I see a picture? We connect. When we connect with their values, they connect with our values. So it's very, it's huge. That's why people say, how can you connect so quick at a screening? I mean, I'm like, because what their value is, I talk about it, and they get excited, and they'll just go like a mile a minute. Very good.
Absolutely. But just think how powerful it is. Dave speaks in their behavioral style. He mirrors fantastic. You match their voicing, you connect with their values. You're lifelong friends instantly, and you don't even know why. And on the converse of that, just think about whether it's religion or politics or whatever it might be. If you don't have the same values, man, you're going to fight. It's a deal breaker, very divisive. Right? All right, so values is key, and I already mentioned the last one, which is emotions. And again, same type of thing. We match and pace emotions. So you're going to have people who are frightened, who are scared, who are skeptical, who are enthusiastic. I mean, you have people. I know you have patients who walk through the door in tremendous amount of pain, and they're laughing, and they're telling jokes. That's going to be Dave. The expressives typically do that. And you have people who are very quiet and intimidated or frightened. If they're quiet and introverted, don't come at them with both guns blazing, settle it down. I mean, these are simple tools to implement, but again, you'll be able to convert patients when you build trust with them. And this is all about building trust. So Dave, why don't you do a hit on emotions? We'll wrap this up for them.
Okay, I will. A couple things. Number one, when I do, sometimes, hey, I make mistakes. I get so excited when I'm talking to somebody. Here's a little tip. When you feel yourself maybe being a little bit like that, I go, please, Mike, don't mistake my passion for pushing this. I'm passionate. And they go, oh, thank you. And so people do not listen to this. People do not make a decision without emotions. When the emotions are involved, they will make a decision. And again, those things, guess what my last three things are on the screening form, which are the most powerful. They talk about their symptoms, this. And then I say, what is your biggest health concern? Getting worse, stopping your life, or being a financial burden. And so what happens is, people like, I don't want to be a burden to my family. And I say, don't get it. Sometimes they get too upset, but it's like, but this is a possibility. You can alleviate that if you take action now. Check it out. You have nothing to lose. And they're like, you're right. So until you involve, I don't want to get worse. Well, Mike, if you don't do something about this, will you get worse? Yeah. Could this stop your life? You don't want to stop your life. And people are like, when they think, and I can see that emotional sadness come. So I'm not trying to make you sad or emotional. I'm just saying this is a reality. If I don't tell you now, I never want you to come back and say, I saw you last year. You really didn't tell me how important this was. And now no, I'm telling you as best I can without making you feel like I'm trying to put the hurt on you, to get over it. So that's that. Emotion is very important. And I'm very emotional, and I connect with them in emotional. So I have a little acronym I just share real quick. A side note, it's my LICKED theory, LICKED. L, you got to locate where they're at, then identify I, and that's with your mirroring that, identify, and then you can connect. Once you got to do what we're telling you right now, connect. Then the K, then you give them knowledge. Knowledge is down the thing, but you got to connect. Then E, though, is explore, like feedback, like, does that make sense what I've said? And then you can clarify, but then D, then you can direct them to take action. So it's very, very important. So Dr. Mike, I think this has been awesome. We just have a couple minutes.
One more tip for them so they know, kind of bring it all together. It's not linear. This process can happen all simultaneously. You can build trust, rapport, establish that you're a profound listener, all at the same time in the consultation. One of the keys is when you do go through with them, here's what I understand so far, and you go through and repeat what they're going through. And then you say, does that sound about right? If they disagree, even sometimes if you use the exact same wordage that they've used, if they say, no, it wasn't a dull pain. It was more of an achy pain. If they correct you, it's a little indication that you don't have rapport yet. They're disagreeing with you. Okay, so that's a little tip when you go through the process to know one way or the other. Just real quick story, hugely powerful, amazingly powerful. Don't be afraid to pace and mirror and match. One of the funniest stories I ever had was a guy who came in who was a stutterer. He stuttered constantly through the consultation. And, you don't make it obvious, but I was mirroring his communication. And, I swear to God, he just got up and said, finally, somebody who understands me, and gave me a hug. It just really didn't matter from that point forward. He was in 100% in, became a great patient, and realized maybe over the years that I really didn't stutter. But, I was able to connect with him at a deep level. And I'll never forget when he stood up and gave me a hug, saying, finally, somebody who understands what I'm going through. It had nothing to do with my skill as a doctor. It had to do with connecting with him as a person, as an individual, and that's powerful. So I hope you take this a minute, right?
That is powerful. And I know you did it, Dr. Mike, just from your heart, because you're so into him. And, just like sometimes I'll say to people, going through the toll gate or whatever, when I'm traveling, hey, good morning. And it's night. They go, good morning. They respond because I respond. So you're responding and talking. That is powerful. And that tip is awesome. I like tips. Tips started back, for waitresses to ensure prompt service, but I just came up with one to ensure a productive service, to ensure these little tips are very powerful. That right there is, I'll remember that forever. That's great. That's great, Dr. Mike. Thank you very much. Good.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Super. Well, remember one thing, if you want any comments or questions, or want to schedule the free consultation with us, look at the stuff below. It has all the information to contact us. And remember, wisdom is not power. Wisdom is potential power. Knowledge is not power, it's potential. Wisdom is knowledge rightly applied. Until you apply, the application of the information, that we told you, will become to fruition and make you more successful in converting. And that's the bottom line. Converting, why? So you cannot have this person, not stay with you and end up going to taking pills, potions, and lotions. And we don't want that. We want them, the best profession out there is chiropractic. All right. Thank you, Dr. Mike. And from Dave Major, we say thank you and have a blessed day, and look forward to any questions, comments, or a free consultation. Take care.